Hi, welcome back. Spoiler alert. Film, Ford vs. Ferrari. Carroll A. Shelby is a successful race car driver who is forced to retire early due to a heart condition scion and becomes a car salesman. He is known for his natural salesmanship and ability to connect with people, as well as his skills as a vehicle designer and engineer. Ken Miles, on the other hand, is a racer who works as a mechanic and owns his own shop with his wife Molly and son Peter. He is known for being straightforward and not sugarcoating anything, which sometimes leads to conflicts with customers. At a race, Ken's car is deemed non-compliant with regulations, and he becomes angry and confrontational with the race official. Carroll witnesses this and tries to calm Ken down, but the two end up getting into an argument and Ken throws a wrench at him. Later, the IRS shuts down Ken's garage, forcing him to cut back on racing in order to support his family. Henry Ford II of Ford Motors becomes angry when he finds out that sales are low and his father's company is in danger. He begins to consider ideas from his subordinates, including a pitch from Lee Iacocca that the most desirable cars are race cars like Ferraris. Iacocca suggests that if Ford can win the Le Mans, a 24-hour race, it will be at the top of the industry. To try and achieve this goal, Ford executives travel to Italy and offer to buy the struggling Ferrari company, allowing Enzo Ferrari to maintain control of the racing division. However, Ferrari uses this offer to negotiate a better deal with Fiat and ends up selling to them instead. When the Ford executives return and report this outcome to Henry, he becomes even more determined to beat Ferrari and decides to start a racing division within Ford. Lee approaches Carroll, the only American to have ever won at Le Mans, and asks him to be the head of Ford's racing team, responsible for designing and testing the cars. Carroll agrees and recruits Ken Miles, whom he considers the best driver he knows, to join the team. When Molly sees Ken leaving with Carroll, she demands to know what is going on and is thrilled when Ken tells her that he has been offered a well-paying racing job. As the team prepares for their first major race, Ford's vice president, Leo Beebe, tells Carroll that Ken's unpredictable personality is not a good fit for the Ford brand and that he cannot be trusted to represent the company well in public. Despite Carroll's efforts to defend Ken, he is eventually forced to tell Ken that he will not be allowed to race. Ken is furious, and when Ford loses the race, Carroll convinces Henry to let him rehire Ken. He goes to Ken's house and apologizes, leading to a physical fight on the front lawn. Eventually, Molly brings them some cold sodas and the two men give up, exhausted. After rejoining the team, Ken works alongside them to improve the car. Lee warns Carroll that Leo is determined to have Ken removed from the team and will try to do so on their next visit. To prevent this, Carroll locks Leo in his office and takes Henry out for a ride in the race car, hoping to show him the excitement and thrill of racing. The experience is emotional for Henry, and when they stop, he breaks down in tears. Carroll proposes a deal to Henry: if Ken races and wins at Daytona, he will be allowed to race at Le Mans in France. If they lose, Henry will have full control over Carroll's company. At Daytona, they face tough competition from a second Ford team that has also been commissioned to build a race car. Despite the challenges, Ken is able to win the race, securing their team a spot at Le Mans and ensuring that Ken will be the driver. As Le Mans approaches, Henry and Ferrari are both in attendance. When the race begins, Ken's door won't shut, causing him to fall behind on the first lap. The car that Carroll's team has designed can achieve high speeds, but this causes the brakes to burn out, requiring the pit crew to change them mid-race. The Ferrari team becomes angry and claims that this is a violation of the rules, but Carroll points out that the rulebook allows for changing car parts, and it does not specify which ones can be changed. Eventually, Ferrari's car spins out and crashes, leaving Ken in first place, and Molly and Peter are able to watch on TV as Ken completes the perfect leg he has always dreamed of. Leo, who has been trying to undermine Carroll and interfere with their strategy, goes to Henry and suggests that it would be the best image for Ford if all three of their cars cross the finish line together. Henry agrees, and Leo gives the order to Carroll, who refuses. Instead, he tells Ken about the instruction but also says that it is his race and he will support him no matter what. At first, Ken speeds towards the victory, but he eventually slows down and allows the other drivers to catch up and cross the finish line together. Everyone celebrates Ken's win until a technicality is discovered that puts him in second place, not first. Carroll is angry, but Ken accepts the outcome, and the two men go off together. Weeks later, while testing a new car design called the J-Car, Ken crashes and is killed while driving without safety gear. Carroll visits Ken's family and gives his wrench to Peter. He then gets into his car and speeds off, despite his health condition. A postscript at the end of the film states that Carroll's cars won Le Mans 4 times, and Ken was posthumously inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame. Thanks for watching.